I used to think I was clever, that I could play with my husband's patience, push his buttons a little, and he'd always come crawling back with flowers and apologies, even if I was the one in the wrong. 4 years, that's how our marriage worked. I'd storm off, he'd chase. I thought that was love. I thought I had control. But one trip proved me wrong. It started one ordinary Thursday evening. My husband, Mark, came home exhausted from another 12-hour shift at the firm. He dropped his briefcase by the door, loosened his tie, and sighed as if the whole weight of the world was pressing down on him. Rough day? I asked, barely looking up from my phone. Like you wouldn't believe, he muttered. All I wanted was to come home, see you, have dinner together. I smirked. Well, I have plans with the girls this weekend. A little getaway trip. Just a few days. His face fell. Again. Emma, we barely spend any time together anymore. Can't you skip it, just this once? There it was, the pleading tone I secretly craved. The proof that I still mattered, that he needed me. I wanted to test him, to remind him who had the upper hand. I'll only be gone 3 days, I said sweetly. Maybe it'll teach you not to take me for granted. He stared at me for a long moment, something unreadable in his eyes, then simply nodded. All right. If that's what you want. I expected him to argue, to beg harder. But he didn't. That weekend, I left for the trip. I posted pictures with my friends, drinks in hand, laughing on the beach. Every time I checked my phone, I expected to see messages from him. Long paragraphs about how much he missed me, apologies for not being attentive enough, desperate pleas for me to come home. But the notifications never came. His silence unsettled me. By the third night, I was restless. While my friends were still out dancing, I sat alone in the hotel room scrolling through old photos of us. Mark and I smiling on hikes. Mark surprising me with a cake on my birthday. Mark holding me close during winter nights. A dull ache formed in my chest. Maybe I had gone too far this time. I decided I'd make it up to him when I got back. I'd act remorseful, cook his favorite dinner, even apologize if I had to. When I walked through our front door 3 days later, suitcase in hand, I froze. The house was spotless, almost eerily so. His things, his briefcase, his coat, his watch that he always left on the counter, were gone. I wandered through the rooms, panic rising in my chest. Finally, on the kitchen table, I found a manila envelope. Inside were divorce papers. My hands shook as I pulled out the letter attached. Emma, I loved you more than anything, but I can't keep begging for your time, your attention, your respect. Marriage isn't a game, and I won't be treated like someone you can leave behind whenever you feel like teaching me a lesson. You went on your trip to prove I'd chase you again. This time, I won't. Goodbye. Mark. The words blurred as tears stung my eyes. Divorce papers. He wasn't bluffing. He wasn't trying to scare me. He was done. The next few weeks were a blur. I tried calling him, texting him, even showing up at his office, but he never responded. His silence was louder than any fight we'd ever had. My friends, the ones I had run off with on that fun little trip, avoided me now. Even they whispered that I'd pushed too far. At night, lying in the cold, empty bed, I replayed our last conversation over and over. His quiet nod. His calm, all right. How had I not seen it? He wasn't agreeing. He was letting go. I realized too late that the lesson I had meant for him had become mine. I had underestimated his strength, his breaking point, and most of all, his dignity. He wasn't going to keep chasing someone who only knew how to run away. A year has passed since then. The divorce was finalized. I moved into a small apartment on my own, while Mark built a new life without me. Sometimes I hear from mutual friends that he's doing well, maybe even seeing someone new. It hurts, but I can't blame him. If I could go back, I'd choose him over every party, every weekend trip, every petty power game. But I can't. All I have now are the papers he left on that kitchen table, and the memory of the moment I realized I had lost the one person who ever truly loved me. Because in the end, I thought a little trip would teach my husband a lesson. Instead, it taught me mine.